Hello, I am Christina Mattis, and this is an audiobook about the different phases of the hero's journey, a pattern that can be found in myths, stories, and legends from a range of cultures and time periods. The hero's journey, oftentimes referred to as a monomyth, was popularized by a renowned scholar in mythology, Joseph Campbell. With no disrespect to Mr. Campbell, I will refer to the monomyth as the hero's journey, which I believe is a more commonly used term. According to Campbell, there are three distinct hero's journey phases with numerous subparts. First, the separation or departure phase. Second, the initiation phase. And third, the return phase. By the completion of this audiobook, you should have a general understanding of the full circle pattern of the hero's journey. Remember, even though you are provided with a handout, there's plenty of opportunity for you to write down more detailed notes or personal thoughts as you listen. Before I begin, I would like to make note that the hero's birth is typically deemed unusual. The hero can be born into royalty or has a god or goddess as a parent. Sometimes the hero is in danger at birth and needs to be hidden or disguised. Though this is not part of any of the hero's journey phases, it is an important hero characteristic to be made aware of. For the following discussion, I would like you to refer to the handout titled Hero's Journey Phases. The first part of the discussion will focus on Phase 1, the departure, which you can find at the top of the handout. Phase 1 is referred to in one of two ways, the separation or the departure. For the purpose of this audio, I will refer to Phase 1 as the departure. As you notice, there are 5 events that take place during the departure phase. The first event is when the hero is called to an adventure. Usually, the person who calls the hero to an adventure will be someone who will act as a guide or helper throughout the journey. This call to adventure also forces the hero to become more aware of the world outside of the comforts of home. Initially, the hero refuses to accept the call to adventure in fear of change. However, after some persuasion from some sort of supernatural force or an event that influences the hero to leave home, the hero agrees to the challenge. Along the way, the hero encounters a meeting with some kind of supernatural aid, a mentor if you will. This supernatural aid could be someone like an old wise man, a god or goddess, or even a simple messenger who provides the hero with either a special weapon or supernatural powers to assist the hero during the journey. Once the hero has accepted the call to adventure and met with a supernatural aid, the hero encounters a threshold to cross. This threshold is a division between the comforts of home and the mysteries of an unknown world. Occasionally, the hero will have to confront and defeat a guardian or gatekeeper of sorts in order to cross the threshold into the new world. The final portion of the departure phase is known as the belly of the whale. This does not mean that the hero actually is in the belly of a whale. This term refers to a form of rebirth for the hero, because the hero finally becomes aware of the purpose for the journey through an emergence of an alone state. This completes Phase 1. Let's continue with the Phase 2, the initiation. You will find this phase in the middle section of the handout. There are 6 sections to this phase, starting with the Road of Trials. The Road of Trials is a series of events that challenge the morals and ethics of the hero. As a result of these trials, the hero becomes more skilled and self-reliant in addition to improving personal character. During the trials, the hero meets a goddess of some kind who appears frequently throughout the journey. This goddess may be of royalty or possess motherly qualities, and above all, is beautiful and graceful. This goddess informs the hero of the rewards that await at the end of the journey. Different from the goddess, there are beings that the hero may encounter who tempt the hero from the path of truth and goodness. Typically, since historically heroes have been male, these temptations are represented by a female. Currently, however, these tempters could be male or female since the hero's journey pattern has developed to include female heroes. Regardless of the hero's gender or the gender of the tempter, the hero must surpass any temptations or selfish desires and return to the right path. The hero must not succumb to any temptations. During the fourth part of the initiation, the hero meets an authority figure similar to that of a father figure. This father figure could either feel threatened by the hero or act as someone who wants to help the hero. Either way, the hero must reconcile with his father figure, who seeks atonement to better understand both himself and the hero. The apotheosis portion of Phase 2 could be considered as the most critical turning point for the hero. The apotheosis is a time when the hero finally understands the purpose of life and himself. The hero is able to recognize the world differently from any initial perceptions. This is when the hero becomes totally selfless and places others before him or herself. Only when the hero experiences the apotheosis can the ultimate boon happen. With this new appreciation for life, the hero wants to share the realizations with all humankind. Typically, this new knowledge also reflects a sense of immortality. The ultimate boon completes the second phase. We will now conclude with the third phase, the return, which can be found at the bottom section of the handout. Even though the hero wants to share the new knowledge with humankind, the hero refuses to return to the original home where the experiences of childhood occurred. Ironically, the hero fears that the previous world won't accept any new learned lessons. If you notice, the hero initially refused to leave home for fear of change, whereas now the hero refuses to return home because of change. Regardless of the refusal, the hero finally agrees to return home only after the hero finishes the journey. This is known as the magic flight. Reflect back on how this is similar to the hero coming to terms with accepting the call to adventure. Here, the hero comes to terms with having to return home. To help the transition process, the supernatural aid could act as a protector who helps the hero through any obstacles on the way home. Moreover, the hero needs to escape from those whom the hero may have angered during the journey. One obstacle where the protector's assistance may be needed is during a rescue from without. This is when the hero requires help in overcoming death or some kind of state of helplessness. As the hero continues to travel home, there is a threshold to cross in order to return from the new world to the old world, similar to that of the threshold from the old world to the new world during the departure phase. Again, there may be some sort of gatekeeper or guardian that the hero must defeat. After crossing the threshold, the hero realizes that there is a harmonious balance between the two worlds and that there is not much separation between the two. This understanding allows the hero to become balanced in character and mind, and makes the hero the master of two worlds. Once the journey is complete, the hero has the freedom to live because the hero has come to an understanding between self, home, and the new world. By way of this balance and understanding, the hero can now be beneficial to the world. This completes Phase 3. These phases seem quite linear, and in essence they are. When viewing films or reading stories, you should be able to easily identify some pieces, if not all, of the hero's journey. Be aware, however, that the spacing between each event may differ. For instance, there could be 5 pages between the call to adventure and the refusal, but there could be 70 pages between the apotheosis and the ultimate boon. On another note that I would like to make you aware of is that the events may not happen in consecutive order. For instance, the hero might meet the supernatural aid prior to refusing the call to adventure. I hope that this gives you better insight about the hero's journey. We are now able to move on to viewing Star Wars: A New Hope, where we as a class will apply each event to Luke Skywalker's heroic journey. This will help you practice for when it comes time for you to apply your knowledge as an individual to Homer's The Odyssey. Thank you for listening.